What is up, guys? I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to extend a massive thank you. All the support we've been getting both on SimHQ and Drift HQ with all the Black Friday deals we've been doing. It's been insanely appreciative. Packages are already flying out the door. And today on Black Friday, we just launched all our deals on LZMFG. On our own gear, car stuff, Griots, Heatwave. Not only are all these sales gonna be going on until Monday, but we are also running double entries for a chance to take home my personal RTR Spec 5 Mustang. Things are selling out fast, so make sure to head over to lzmfg.com, drifthq.com, or rtrvehicles.com to get your entries before it's too late. Now, before we get into the shop stuff, I picked my dad up with my first car. I think the last time he'd been in it, it had like 150 horsepower. Now it has 850, so I'm gonna put the footage here. I got him at the airport Thanksgiving morning, and we had a little bit of fun. All right, so I just picked up my dad for Thanksgiving from the airport. And
who are we talking to?
The audience.
Oh, okay.
You gotta speak loud though, because the car's so
not a problem.
He's talking to me, he goes, you know, this car's got more RPMs than it used to have when we drove it down from Florida when you were a kid. So yeah, there's a couple things changing. What were you just asking me?
I said, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so excuse me.
No, you said it right.
Oh, is it natural aspiration? In other words, does it have a charger?
What is your ears and your butt tell you?
What? Anyway.
Is it natural or is there a turbo?
I think there's a turbo in this.
Yeah, you're right. So I took the engine and transmission out of a different car and put it in this. So it's now got a different everything.
Yep. I thought it was not natural. Natural inspiration or whatever it is.
Inspiration. Did you think it was fast before when I owned it?
I don't remember. It was just a car that I think the most that I used it is when we drove down to Florida, which was an interesting trip. But it all worked out. We even stopped it south of the border. We were real tourists.
I got the photo. I'll put it on the screen. And then I brought the car to Florida, and then I think I had it for like a half a year, and then I sold it.
Well, I just put on my heat waves.
What do you think this makes horsepower? Take a guess.
300.
Is that your final guess? I'll tell you what. If you're within 100 horsepower, $1,000 bucks.
What do I win?
$1,000 if you're within 100 horsepower of the guess.
335.
You lose.
I lose.
All right, I'm gonna do a pull and then I'll let you guess again.
It's gonna be less. Trustworthy.
You ready?
Yep. Okay.
What's
400.
400? More than that. 850.
Are you serious?
850.
Oh my god.
Did you spill my coffee?
No, I didn't spill.
We're still on the air.
Oh my god.
We gotta go pick up the turkey.
It's Turkey Day. And I came all the way from Connecticut. It just started to rain, a little bit of snow, but it's gonna be all rain, guys.
Joel's Weather Channel, you're right here.
Yeah, we'll see you after the commercial break, guys. Bye.
You guys already know, I like wheels. I like wheels a lot, but wheels are expensive. And the sponsor of today's video, Fitment Industries, is here to help you save money on wheels and get the right fitment for your ride. Their Black Friday deals on wheels start today and run through Cyber Monday, where you can save up to 58% off wheels. That is literally the biggest and best deals you will be able to find on wheels anywhere. I'm gonna put the link down in the description, but here's why you wanna go over to Fitment Industries. Their fitment gallery is sick. You can put in the make and model of your car, and you can see other user-submitted images of different wheels and different fitments to help you make the right choice. There's many different ways to set up your car. If you want to have track stance, if you want to have stance, hecka stance. Wheels are expensive, even though you're going to be saving big on this Black Friday deal. Nothing is worse than getting a set of wheels that don't fit, and Fitment Industries is here to help you guys. I want to give a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click the link in the description, get yourself a set of wheels while they're on sale, and support the people that support this channel. Hey, remember when we had like 5 or 6 chickens?
Yeah.
We've got like 20 now.
Are you serious?
20 chickens.
What are you doing, Mom?
They're gonna all come say hi to you. Here, chickies!
Hi.
Look, they're coming.
They're running. They said, what kind of guy is this?
I'll have you feed them later.
Bye, chickies.
This is your first time playing a simulator?
Yeah.
No, go straight.
Straight. I don't want to hit the sides.
It's just a game. You're fine. Straight.
Know, I'll wreck the car.
Yeah, you hit the sides.
I know. I do that at home.
You do.
This is weird, Adam. This is very scary.
There's no consequences.
I know, but I like
That's dead end.
Oh, nobody told me.
Put it in first, turn the wheel all the way to the left, and then just dump the clutch. Watch what happens. Oh, harder. Yeah, dump the clutch. There you go. You gotta drive this like a jerk. Drop it in first and just dump the clutch for high RPM.
Oh, it's getting me sick, Adam.
Is it?
Yeah.
You need a brown paper bag?
No, not that sick.
Put you in a V8 car. I want to see a donut. Just drive angry. Just drive hard. Yeah. There's zero consequences. Try to crash into something.
Jesus Christ. Doesn't handle like a real car.
Yes, it does. Go in my shop. Turn in my shop. Plenty of steering angle. Yep.
Is it open?
Yeah. More turn. See, you got lifts and everything. I want you to experience the K-Truck. I feel like using one of these to get around the yards. It might grind a little bit when you put it in first.
Okay, grind a little bit?
Yeah. You look good in there.
No power steering.
Off he goes. What do you think?
Where do you want me to put it?
You want one?
What?
You want one?
Sure, get me one.
You know what's fun? If you go fast enough and you have someone in the car with you, you can throw your heads forward, slam on the brakes, and it'll actually do an endo because the back's so light. Wow. All right, first up on the chopping block. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about this front lip. I decided to paint it white. I'm curious what you guys are gonna think of it now that it's actually on the car, but I think this is gonna actually look really good. Now, is this thing gonna slow down my quarter mile? Absolutely. Do I care? No. Does it look great? I think so. Like blends with the rest of the car now. The Fitment definitely could be better, but you know, you get what you pay for, I guess.
Take a hammer from the back side of the bumper and massage the exposed.
I did think about that. I don't care about this car, but I don't know if I don't care about it that little. Damn, dude, have you ever looked at this car from the side and looked at how wavy the bodywork is? It's insane, dude. It's like someone took orange peel, but then made it huge.
Right.
It's a solid 15 footer. I really want to put tiny wheels on it so bad. After GTR Festival, we came home to try to diag the breaking up issue that we had on the RB28 sedan. And what it wound up being was the power for the coils was coming through the body harness. So we wired straight power to that. It resolved the issue, and Freddie was actually able to add a little bit more power now that the coils were cooperating and had the proper voltage. So this thing made its record horsepower. I'll put the dyno graph on the screen. I want to say it was like high 800s. And with this car, the way it's always gone is we add power, we add grip. We add power, we add grip. So since we added power, now's gonna be time to add more grip. So we're gonna put this thing on the lift, and I'm gonna do something that I've been wanting to do, but it's kind of technical, so it might be an all-day affair, or maybe it'll be quick. But I'll try to educate you guys on S13/S14, or in this case, R32 rear suspension geometry, and how we're gonna achieve more straight line traction, and what we're gonna sacrifice to get that. Think naturally that this would have a huge effect, but I saw firsthand with the Barra Mustang, when it was in fault mode, it basically would blow through the grip because it had no dampers, it would hit the bump stops, and then it was terrible to drive, couldn't make it past on the drag strip, on the street had zero traction. After I fixed that issue and the suspension in the rear worked properly, it was night and day with how much traction it had. So this car, I didn't really know what I was doing when I set up the suspension. I'm running a 4K spring in the back, which was back what I used to run when I was drifting. I think it's too soft for the amount of grip and amount of power. So what I think is happening, I also think my shock isn't adjusted properly. So I think basically I'm getting into the bump stop and then I'm losing all traction, because once you hit the bump stop, it basically unloads the rear of the car again, which would explain why it likes to spin. But the cool thing about this is, you look here, we modified my rear subframe, They call this kind of like an S14 mod. Basically, a big difference between an S13 and an S14 subframe is that it lowers the front pickup of the control arm from here down to here. What that does is it makes the car handle better, but you lose anti-squat. So S13s traditionally have more anti-squat by having the arm up here. That arm angle basically forces the wheel to the ground when you're on power, but the trade-off is you lose some side bite, and for cornering, it's not as ideal. For a car like this that's now intended to go in the straight line, before I mess with springs, bump stops, anything, I'm gonna hopefully see if I can get this control arm to go back up into the factory location and not have to change everything. Because this fitment on this car is so tight, I'm like always on the brink of rubbing the outside of the fender, rubbing the inside of the lower control arm. We got a 275/40 on a stock body R chassis, which is like unheard of with no fender flares or over fenders, but I love how it looks. My paint doesn't love me the most, but it's a trade-off of being cool, I guess.
So cool.
Yeah. The amount of anxiety I get when I leave my phone not on Do Not Disturb during the day is insane. Every time I hear the ring, it's just like one more level on the anxiety meter. I hate it. Do Not Disturb, eternal. Here's the challenge now. Getting this to line up. So it looks like that's almost been like spread
Yeah.
too short. See how that's like changing the shock angle and everything when I do that?
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna do all that anti-squat from. One thing that I'm checking before we get too far, look at how close my axle is to my shock. You're gonna need to look kind of from this side.
Yeah.
I've actually munched into the shock a little bit, but it's okay. We don't really worry too much about that. What I really need is to see if someone makes axles for this that don't have those big adapters on the end. That would give us a lot more clearance. Yeah, I'm gonna go through the motion as much as I can without disconnecting the shock, because the shock doesn't really want to be disconnected, I've learned. Like I said, this car is an absolute mental with the axle almost hitting the shock, the tire almost hitting the quarter panel, and then the tire almost hitting the inside. So like getting the rear suspension on this is insanely difficult, and I've been dreading this because I was worried that I'd have to adjust every single arm to try to get it back in the right window. But changing that lower control arm point actually did not change the alignment whatsoever.
Which is crazy.
It doesn't rub, the toe is still exactly the same, so
Yeah.
it's great to know if you're considering making that change. Obviously it could be different on your car, but at least in this case we were able to swap holes and it didn't change anything. It's actually a useful tool, believe it or not, on, I don't know if I could say this or not. We'll see if I get a text after I say this in the video. With RTR, we would change subframes to change the anti-squat based on rain or not rain.
Right.
So imagine being like an S chassis guy and changing your subframe hole based on the track conditions.
You should be fine saying that, by the way. We filmed that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know. You never know. All the newfound horsepower, all the newfound grip, we're about to be hooking and booking, Michael.
Forgot the subframe on this was painted candy red.
Right?
Love that.
Powder coated.
Dang.
This was the first powder coated subframe I ever did.
Remember the first era of the subframes on the E36? They were like black and blood splatter
Oh,
red.
those were sick.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, but I think we'll be good. I'm excited to go test it, and I think the biggest indicator for you guys in video to see if the idea of adding the anti-squat worked will be look at the rear view window when we do a pull. If you see the car squatting a bunch, that means it didn't work. And maybe Mike's reaction will add to the, or maybe it'll be subtraction. I don't know. Let's go. It's sprinkling. Hurry. Rain is enemy for data. I mean, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Can't do goddamn burnout. All right.
Sweet.
Got some heat in the tires. I'm excited to try. We got new brakes too. I'm gonna slam on the brakes, just warning you. Just make sure they work. Yeah, I feel good.
Feel great.
Yeah. Now the tires are still cold, so I don't think it's gonna be the biggest indicator.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes for like a second gear day. I accidentally clutched up third. Now the tires definitely have heat in them.
This thing is good.
Maybe it spins more, but it's also just drizzled a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely spun, but that was...
Oh, and it's making more power. I gotta not forget that.
Yeah.
Oh, something definitely changed with the alignment.
Is it pulling around?
No, it's just like the whole rear end skewed a little bit now because my steering wheel's turned.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe the toe is still within spec, but the rear end for whatever reason shifted. So
Yeah,
it's like crab walky.
Slightly.
It's like one of makes like 600 and change for torque. We're at like 870 horsepower right now. Hooks first.
Yeah. You can hear the rocks.
Still spins a little bit.
A little, but it grabs quick.
I think that's just rocks we hear.
Yeah. And Mickey Thompson's a real sticky.
Yeah.
I just hope that with your tight fitment, that it can get between the corner and the tire.
Look,
A+ on the fitment.
yeah, a little too tight. All right, now that we got some more heat, I want to see the second gear. Is it gonna hook up? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Like it's hard because you guys obviously can't tell from the other end, but I definitely scooted the rear a little bit though. I wonder if now that it's settled, maybe it has a little toe out and that's contributing.
Maybe, yeah. Now that we've taken it for like a proper drive, we can take it back and check toe again, all that stuff.
I'll do another hit.
All right.
Wow. I think the extra power is not helping the traction problem. It hasn't fried the tires in the top of the third like that before.
Yeah.
Spicy girl.
I feel like you can't drive this car normal. Like it always wants to just eat.
Yeah, well then the anti-lock makes it even gnarlier.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that I made the traction better, but it's squatting less.
Yeah.
So like, theoretically it should be better. I just f***ed it up by adding more torque to the car. Also too, I imagine road temps play a role. Like it's colder out today versus a normal day when it would be hot that I'd be comparing it to. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, if I'm still getting in my bump stops, that would be a problem. But it doesn't feel like it's squatting.
No. I feel like it's almost not even squatting at all. Like
Yeah.
it's very tame.
Let's see what happens in my rear view. Yeah, I can neuter the torque down, or I can bring some boost out, and that will soften that torque hit, which won't light the tires up. But that's also part of the fun.
Yeah.
You can feel when you flash through that, then it's not as fast anymore.
It's interesting to think about making less power to go faster.
It's you ever take science class, the coefficient of static friction versus kinetic friction?
Yes.
It's like harder to push something when it's not sliding, but once it's sliding, it's easier. It's the same thing with tires. Once they're spinning, you're not winning.
Yeah. Spinning ain't winning.
This side was towed out a little bit, so now that the car's settled, I'm just adding it back. So this is where it gets kind of confusing, because when you start dealing with anti-squat and the rear end picks up when you're on throttle instead of goes down, you have to think about shocks a different way. So my dampers right now are cranked full stiff. Basically, that was to avoid just blowing through the shock when I didn't have anti-squat. But now that I have it, because they're one ways, you're also slowing down, when you tighten it, you're slowing down the ability for it to add the anti-squat, because you're slowing down that hit.
Right.
So loosening it may actually give us more traction in this case.
Right, because you're allowing the fluid to flow quicker.
Yeah, and allowing the rear end to plant itself harder.
Right.
So that's another thing that we can try, but I want to see if this toe change got us back dialed, because we were 0, and that's why the steering wheel was off. That's why the car felt a little funny. One thing we use when we're trying to square up a chassis, obviously toe plates make it easy when you're trying to get the rear overall toe, but you could have it skewed side to side. We use these a lot on race cars. Basically, you put the bar up on the center of the wheel, and then it kind of elongates that measurement. So you can have someone go and measure to a chassis point. In this case, probably like the door jamb or something that should be the same on both sides. And then you can tell if your car is skewed to one side or another.
Right.
All right, so we added a little bit of toe, and now the shocks are quite a bit softer as it relates to damping. So
Yeah.
will it hook better? We'll see. My steering wheel's a little bit less off. I might just need to line it up in front end now.
I can feel the damping change already.
Yeah, that tire, now that I added toe to it, rubbing on the inside of that lower control arm.
Yeah.
This car really needs some like custom lower control arms or something fancy for like limited space.
Yeah.
Oh, got an email. It still steps out a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. I think I might just maybe need to turn power down a little bit.
It's just a really good car.
It's a good car, but maybe a little bit much power for. And this is, I'm glad I'm doing this because I definitely a 7-second car now. No, it's got a 9 in it for sure. I gotta go back to the drag strip.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm satisfied with this. I'll just need to double check to make sure the rear is square and then like fix the steering wheel since the steering wheel's off. We're doing this like live thing, which you guys, it'll be too late for you to see, but basically the guys have been going live and doing burnouts and drifting all day from Drift HQ, just to kind of flex that all our salespeople are also drivers, which I think is super cool. But I didn't want to miss out on the fun, so I'm gonna see if I can pull Zero out of retirement and do a big fat burnout. So like, you know, that dude came over with that R34 and like, it was a good burnout car, but I feel like Zero could do better.
Yeah.
So I gotta put my car where my mouth is. It took so long to get started.
You got 4 jump packs on this thing?
It took 5 jump packs in a car.
Yeah. It's just cold out.
Now, I want to be crystal clear. This is the exact opposite of what I say. This is one of those situations where do as I say and not as I do. This car has old fuel in it. It probably has clogged injectors. I didn't put ice in the cool box. Yeah, it's probably not going to be good for the car, but I want to drive it. I don't want to spend a day working on it, so fingers crossed it is good. Motor down. The worst thing to turn the car off after that. It just shut off. Head gasket, please stay alive. Please stay. Please don't pop. I know I've been mean to you. Sorry, you can try. Put in the clutch. My bumper. It's so hard to paint match. The cringe.
I know.
Everything went great until that.
Here comes Oma.
Thank you.
Long strides.
Come on.
She's got this. Gas. Woo! I think we're good. Yeah, my coolant temp's not that hot.
Oh.
But I don't know if that one works or this one works. This one wasn't really moving. This car really needs like a standalone.
Yeah.
Like here, it just constantly does weird stuff up by limiter. Engine sounds okay, right?
Yeah.
All went well. Car didn't explode, so that's cool. It's like 2 years on retirement. We ended up sick burnout. Sorry, also I'm a I let out. I couldn't see and I don't want to crash into any of the guys that work here because they don't deserve that. Comment below if you want to see me try to put a standalone on this thing so it doesn't sound like dog doo-doo up top.
Yeah.
That'd make me stoked. It just sounds like a little, you know?
Yeah.
My adrenaline's going not from the burnout, but from the thought that my engine was melting down.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest weak point of these engines because they're open deck. The head gaskets pop like that.
Yeah.
I actually turned the boost down quite a bit before I did that. Like that was probably only like 700 horsepower. But yeah, that can be good for us to breathe in all that smoke.
No, probably not.
Reminder guys, this is the end of the video, so I'm gonna say bye here. Shop at LZMFG. This is your last chance to get entered for our sick Mustang giveaway. Drift HQ, we're pumping deals out. Today might even be one of our record-breaking days. and then Sim HQ, all the sites, all the love. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy. Have a great holiday weekend. And I will probably see you on Monday. So later.